Hi, May here. We're talking with some of the actors from Clerks. If you do want to find out the latest news from Comic-Con, please subscribe below. I think I first watched Clerks when I was about 9.
Wow, where
and
were
it
your
was,
parents?
well, they were not in the room. But it was a huge impact on my life, I guess, in a lot of ways, and the way I was moulded. And a lot of people growing up as well, they watched it at a young age, moulded them. How do you feel Clerks has remained such a popular film within the cult community?
You know what it is? The greatest thing about that film is the star of that film is really the writing. Kevin really wrote a script that was really true and dear to his own heart, and from his own experience. He literally worked at that convenience store, worked that job. We would literally film when the store would close at night, and the next morning he would open up and work at the store until he had to go to bed and then do that all over again. So I think what resonates with it is people have either worked that type of crappy retail type of job and was overeducated, underemployed, so to speak, and going, what am I doing in this crappy place when I could be doing things better? So I think that still resonates well today, especially to the university kind of crowd that really is looking like, where's this job market going? So the fact that video stores aren't around, not as many video stores are around anymore with the world of streaming and stuff like that, but it's still relevant to the fact that having some sort of retail job. And if you haven't worked that type of job, then you've been in a establishment that gave you crappy service, or walked into like, these guys actually get paid? So I think the relevance of it is stuck around for that reason. Also, Kevin has been very prolific with this world, this Mewes universe, as we like to call it. As a matter of fact, we have our new film coming out, the new Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. That comes out this fall, so stay tuned for that.
I'm genuinely excited about that. When it was the audition itself, did you think from the script originally it would turn out the way that it did? Or did you know from the start that it had something special?
Well, in the audition, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, we were just handed just certain paragraphs to read from. We knew it was kind of a movie about these two convenience store clerks, although I didn't. I missed the first night of auditions. It wasn't until the second night that I came in. Anybody who has the 10-year anniversary DVD, it has as some of the bonus extras are auditions on the extra DVD. So going into it, didn't know what it was. Could have been porn for all I knew, what I was auditioning for. I was just trying to get into my first film ever. And turned out that he enjoyed what I had to do, and we worked it out. And I thought it would only be like a VHS copy. Kids, ask your grandparents what VHSs are. A VHS copy of what we did. And then it was just this kind of funny little comedy that we shot at some, convenience store over a springtime. So for it and Kevin and David and Scott to have the wherewithal to enter it in film festivals and then it to catch on the way it did was a complete shocker to me.
Clerks II was obviously a huge budget in comparison. What did you find were the differences, or what were the better opportunities, or what did you feel that it took away from the film, or anything at all, really?
You know what it was? Clerks II was a great catch-up to where these characters were. Now, over that 10-year period, the characters had appeared in the Jay and Silent Bob movie. I'd appeared in Dogma, and I'm Chasing Amy and a few others. But it was nice to see these two main characters, which were his start and his bread and butter kind of characters, to see where they were in life. Now these characters were in their 30s. And it was that type of, they were in their same station in life going like, what, where did our lives go? We were 10 years ago saying, no, I'm going to go and do this and that and the other thing. And shit or get off the pot, so to speak, and here we are still on the pot. So it was funny to move it into a retail food industry, so now you have these two clowns handling people's food. Really, you don't want to. And then them realizing like they had to take control of their lives. And then sometimes life just pushed you in directions you didn't know you were going to. And in the fact that, spoiler alert, the Dante character kind of fathers a child, pushes them into a different lifestyle altogether. And it was a part of our lives. We were in our 30s going like, where are we going with our careers and our lives? So that's the greatest thing about working with Kevin. He really knows how to take what is actually going on in his life and even small little bits of it and tie it into these characters and tell these stories that I think people can relate to.
A question from a fan online, and they said, from your memories of working on the first film, is there anything that you remember clear as day, like it happened yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I mean, filming the hockey scene on the roof, I can remember easy as day, because it wasn't a flat, open kind of space where we could actually play hockey. There was like refrigeration units and stuff, because it's a store with all that on the roof. And just by the camera angles and the quick short cuts to make it look like we were in an expansive flat surface roof was a really cool trick of photography that Dave Klein pulled off that I always enjoyed.
So there's a reboot coming. Do we know the dates yet?
We shot that in New Orleans, in Louisiana, this past early spring. So we're talking about fall. Well, so look about the September, October, November area. He should be making probably an announcement about that, probably about San Diego Comic-Con. I'm hearing there's going to be probably an announcement. And then I was a part of Jason Mewes' first film that he wrote and directed. They just made their announcement that that's coming out this August, called Madness and the Method, shot here in the UK up in Derby. I'll be a part of that. I'm a part of that as well, so look for that as well.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. It sounds great. If there was to be another reboot or even a sequel, what film would you have chosen?
Well, I'm not in charge. That's above my pay grade, but I know Kevin is talking about doing a sequel now to the Mallrats movie. So that's been bandied about for a couple of times, so most likely it'll be that.
And do you write anything yourself?
I've been working on a script now for about 2 years. It's a comedy, so hopefully I'll get working onto that by next year, maybe a 2021 release kind of thing.
And do you feel that working with your friends, being supportive of each other is important within this industry where it can be so difficult to find a friend?
You know what it is? As you can see with other filmmakers like Scorsese and Spike Lee and Tarantino, you always see the same kind of actors working with them. It becomes a familiarity. You become familiar with what that filmmaker is looking to get out of the roles, or what's the kind of performances he's looking for. And sometimes when you bring in a new member who hasn't worked with the people, it takes a while for that chemistry to build back up. While when you work with someone for years and years on multiple projects, the chemistry is already there. It's automatic. And that's what I love about working with Jason and Marilyn and Scott, who are here this show. But throughout the other films as well, the other cast members, is always lovely to work with.